Hello friends, this is Annette of AnnetteLeonard.com, joining you again for an episode of Chronic Wellness. So, you have an autoimmune disease and you finally figure that out because the literature shows that it can take upwards of 8 to 10 years to get an accurate autoimmune disease diagnosis. That's appalling. I mean, for many of us with chronic illness, it perhaps is not as surprising as it should be because we've been on this crazy mill of just being chewed up and spit out by the medical system, and probably ourselves have experienced this runaround of years and years and years and years of not having a diagnosis, not having the right diagnosis, not being believed, not having tests that can prove anything about our circumstance. So perhaps it's a credible or believable statistic for you. It's still an appalling statistic. It still is a statistic that really, really, really needs to change. And you get a diagnosis of your autoimmune disease and think, huzzah, we now know what this is. There is a name. There are other people with it. We can start to catch this tail, a dragon by the tail, and figure out what the hell to do, how to shift it, right? How to make it right, how to heal from this. Whew. And when your body is attacking your own body's tissue, it is not a simple thing to unwind, to figure out, to get it to quit. And so the biggest gun in their arsenal, and the one that first gets aimed at almost everyone with autoimmune disease, say it with me, folks, grab hands, sing along with your neighbor because you know this one by heart. Prednisone. Prednisone. The drug we love to hate. So high dose prednisone, man, that is what they're just gonna throw at you as soon as they realize that you have got an out of control autoimmune disease. And trust and believe that if it took any number of years to get your autoimmune disease diagnosed, it's out of control. So prednisone. When I was first diagnosed, one of the symptoms of my autoimmune disease is this wacky symptom called mechanic's hands. And it is called that because your hands start to look like somebody who has worked on cars for the last 60 years. My fingers were so swollen that they were the same thickness at the bottom and at the top, and that thickness was just slightly less than a hot dog's. And because they'd swollen so much at the top, every top of every finger was just full of splits and cracks. And because they were so swollen, I couldn't bend them much more than that. Made them pretty useless, as you can imagine. Couldn't open doorknobs, couldn't put on my own socks, couldn't do anything that required dexterity more than this. I mean, it was awful, and it was so, so painful. And I got put on 60 milligrams of prednisone, and in 36 hours, I had hands again. I mean, I had hands. I could tie my own shoes. I could zip the top of a Ziploc bag. I could scratch my dogs. I mean, it was a revelation to me how much prednisone, like, bam, like just eradicated that symptom. And similarly was taking care of other symptoms in my body, but that was just the one that, like, anyone outside of me could see a change and see it happen immediately. It was remarkable. I had no idea. And simultaneously, it's like being on speed, right? Like, no sleep till Brooklyn. I mean, like, there was no sleep. I was like, I can't sleep. I can't sleep. It's like being on speed or coke or something. I mean, it's just like, what are we going to do next? What are we going to do? Like, lay down and like, good luck. I'm just going to shake awake. It's bananas how unbelievably relentless that pill makes you on the inside. It's just frenetic. I am a creative type. I have had my one and only art show after having been on prednisone, high dose prednisone, for the first time for several months, because I was just up all night making art. So prednisone, it has some really miraculous effects and some super downside effects. Like, it makes you crave sugar and salt. Nothing is sweet enough, nothing is salty enough. And it makes your body hold on to every calorie you even look at. Like, you see something across the room and you are gaining weight from it as you look at it, in addition to speed and having some less than positive side effects in your body. But man, I had hands again. How about you? Who's been on high dose prednisone? Raise your hand. Cool if you are raising your hand. Tell us something about it that we haven't talked about here, or that we have. Write a sentence or two about prednisone, your high dose prednisone experiences. We want to know. Sound off. All right. Thanks for being here. We will continue to talk about autoimmune diseases. I am grateful for your time and attention. And until we are together again, I hope that you and yours are finding ways to be well.